I just want to quickly go through what this book is about. The human condition. So what is the human condition? Master asks. He says that the human condition is what the difference between animals and humans is, and furthermore, what is the difference between common people and religious people? And the answer to that is, what is the difference between animals and humans, is that animals do not have faith and they do not know the real meaning of love. And in this context, he says that he wants to use the word love to mean conquering the loneliness of everyone. He says animals cannot conquer their loneliness through some techniques, their thoughts, or religion. We humans are also living in a concrete jungle or buildings and feeling loneliness, but we can and must fight against this loneliness by love, in the real meaning of love, and in the religious meaning of love. We are not animals because we can love, we can produce love, and we can live for the love of the world. This is a great difference between animals and humans. So you must decide to live from the standpoint of human activity and aim. He says that there are two types of people. One type lives in the private realm and another lives in the public realm. Those who live in the public realm are rare because most of us, we live in the private realm. The private realm is basically your circle that is yourself and your family and maybe friends. So most people are living only thinking about themselves and their family and friends. And their thoughts don't extend any farther than that. But, our lives are so much more interconnected. And for us to live in a way in which our happiness doesn't conflict and collide with other people, but perhaps leads to greater happiness of other people as well, Master Okawa is saying he wants all of us to move from the private realm to live in the public realm. He wants us to have worldliness, in other words, to think of the world, to think of other people in this world, to think of love for the world. People in the private realm, they are there because it's hard to imagine a world kind of beyond what they can see. And that lack of imagination also leads to not being able to imagine that there is a world even after life. And so it kind of comes down to being able to make that transition from kind of being confined to only seeing what you can see to being able to see beyond. For those who have worldliness, Master Ka says, are able to concentrate in their mind. And by concentrate, he means you can be immersed in. You can be immersed into the bottom of your heart. You can go deep inside of your heart. And he asks, what will you find there? What will you find when you immerse yourself deep inside of your heart? Can you find light? Can you only find darkness? Can you find another thing? Another people or animals? What is it? He asks. Go deep inside your mind and find something. To that, finding something is, in other words, to be contemplative on the truth. Yushi mentioned something, but he said that there's a difference between exploring truth and being skeptical of the truth. He says, when you're skeptical of the truth, you're ultimately not wanting to believe in anything because perhaps you have been hurt. Perhaps you have been traumatized from believing in something and you don't want to experience that again. That's why you're skeptical. But to explore the truth, that is an act that takes you closer to the truth. And I think in this case, to immerse yourself, immerse inside of your mind, requires the act of exploring with the belief that you can come closer to the truth. And you want to dive into your mind knowing that you can find the truth. That will lead you closer to the truth. Then Master says that there are 3 kinds of people in this world. One of these kinds of people is labor-minded people. They are people who work but are only concerned about labor. These people are almost animal-oriented and they hate to work. Labor means daily work that doesn't produce new value. So my understanding is it's kind of just doing work that is required so that you can sustain your life, you can survive, but it doesn't really last beyond the day. It's just work that you do every day, but it just disappears every day as well. So Master Okawa is saying he's recommending you to do this the second kind of work, which is work that produces new values in your daily life. He says you must choose work over labor. And already here, there's a transition happening from you living in a private realm in which it's just about yourself and your immediate people around you, the people immediately around you. You're starting to think about other people. You're starting to think about how to make yourself a little bit more useful for other people. Instead of you thinking the world existing for yourself, instead of thinking the world exists to serve yourself, you're realizing that you're here in this world to kind of add something to the world. You're here in this world to serve others in this world. And so that perspective kind of nudges you towards thinking of, okay, what can I do that will add value, that will last beyond this day and be helpful and useful to others. But then there is still another form of work, and that is the action that I was speaking of before. And that is, you're not just working, creating new things, creating cameras or TVs or things of that kind, but you're actually working to create this space and society in which people are living in. So that is why action contains political meaning. And it's quite astonishing how Master Okawa describes action as a way to conquer the loneliness of the people in the world. Politics is a device to conquer the loneliness of people in this world. I think it's something very interesting to contemplate on.